Hi, welcome. This is the great Sunday, and today is on the 20th of February, and it's great to be here this afternoon. This is a very special episode of this show on a bold conversation, and I have with me great leaders and from different African countries that are joining us on the show to have conversations on a very interesting conversation on the African doing business in Africa. It's a lot of people we know that doing business in Africa is fun and is interesting, and Africa is where the money is, whether you like it or not. And Africa is a gold mine that the whole world is looking up to. And my name is Stephen Obutoibo, and I'm here this afternoon with these great leaders and this great mind joining us on the show. I'd like to let's take women first. I have very great esteemed guests joining us from Belgium. Am I right? In person of Sheilah Tantoh. Sheilah, would you want to introduce yourself? Tell us who is Sheilah?
Thank you very much, Stephen. It's a pleasure to meet you on this platform to share, to exchange, and to unravel the mysteries governing what we are going to be talking about tonight. I am Sheila Tantoh. I am a Cameroonian. I am also the representative for the area of Temopa of Cameroon. I am professionally into monitoring and evaluation, and this cuts across cultural diversity, cultural management, conflict management and resolution, as governance and regional integration. Have to be on this show.
So it's a pleasure meeting you, Sheilah. And let me go to Dr. Hamid from Egypt. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us more about the organization. We can't hear you. Your mic is muted.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. Honored to be with you, with Mr. Stephen and Mrs. Sheila and my friend Dr. Brown. My name is Hamid El-Meslay from Egypt. I'm researcher in Cairo University in African Studies. I'm a specialist in African Studies, PhD. Okay, and I am founder from many organization and initiative in African issues. I am honored to be one of the team of AEF Tamopa, North Africa ambassador for AEF Tamopa, and the honor to be with you. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Ahmed, do you speak French?
Some words, little.
I wanted you to introduce yourself in French.
Yeah, mother tongue is Arabic.
Okay.
If anybody speak Arabic, it's
okay.
great.
Feel free to speak Arabic.
Yeah. Speak Arabic?
Yeah, introduce yourself in Arabic then.
أنا اسمي حامد المسلمي من مصر. باحث في جامعة القاهرة، باحث دكتوراه في جامعة القاهرة في الدراسات الأفريقية. عضو مؤسس في منظمة أوياف تاموبا، تعني لجنة سفراء الاتحاد الافريقي الشباب من اجل تنفيذ بروتوكول حريه تنقل الافراد في افريقيا. شاركت في العديد من المؤتمرات الدوليه وشاركت في تاسيس بعض المبادرات برعايه الاتحاد الافريقي. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, in spirit, we understand what you're saying.
Anybody understand anything?
Nobody. Dr. Brown, over to you, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you, everyone. I'm so delighted to be seated before and with great minds this evening where I am, and this afternoon where Stephen is, and I guess still evening where Hamid is, and Sheila. So I'm so proud. I'm so proud because that's one thing about Africa. We have Africans. We have to be proud wherever we are. So my name is Dr. Nnamno Brown. I'm a specialist in communication, mass communication, or what you call NOUN, integrated marketing communications. And I am the lead ambassador for AU YAFTEMOPA. So AU YAFTEMOPA means African Union Youth Ambassadors for the Free Movement of Persons in Africa. I guess in the course of this discussion, we'll get to dabble into the reels around it. So
Go ahead.
okay, so basically that is Dr. Brown, and then we are. I'm so delighted. I'm so delighted. It's good to be speaking to the whole world.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My first question goes to Sheilah. Africa has the largest population of young people, and do you think this population of these young people are going to contribute immensely? And you've seen young people blazing the trail in terms of technology, um, entrepreneurship, in different fields that you find these young people who are into fashion, fashion communication in different fields. Africa is trailing a blaze across Europe. Do you think the population has an effect to African growth?
So much for that question. Truly, you've said it, you've rightly put it, that the youth are really taking over across Africa, even without going out of Africa. So we see an energetic set of people who are determined to take the future into their hands. So we are going past the stage where we had youth who had given up on the continent. But this time around, we have youth who are in very diverse forms of businesses, administration, you can name it. And they are the population and they are the base of Africa, because without the youth, then we can say that Africa is doomed, because we see a nation or a continent that fails to recognize the strength of its youth. It's a nation that is geared towards doom. And that is where Africa is today. The youths have a paramount role, not just a role, but a key role in fostering progress, development, economically, politically on the continent. This cannot be undermined, because these are the energetic population. These are the people who keep up the drive. These are the people with the vision, with the passion for what they do. And given the right platform, they can definitely take Africa to where Africa should be and the Africa we want.
I wanted to ask a question from Doctor. Um, looking at the growth, in terms of expansion and tech. Do you think young people are aware, seeing the development of, the GDP, looking at the economy and looking at the GDP of Africa? Do you think young people are aware much? They know more about this African trade, continental trade. I have been to different AU, I've been to different conferences across the world, and I've traveled across African countries, and I see young people who are, like I said earlier when I asked a question from Sheilah. We've seen young people are currently in agriculture. Let's also look at the area of agriculture. Young people are creating that impact. How much more do you think that this impact is being felt? A lot of young people are complaining, oh, the government are not supporting us. I don't know if they're supporting people in Congo. I don't know if they're supporting people in Egypt. I don't know if they're supporting people. Even if they're supporting, how effective are these young people feeling their impact? And not playing politics with saying that they're giving grants, because this also happened in Nigeria. Do you think government has an impact in developing African economy, which is the young people who are playing the most impact, that are creating more impact in this economic growth? Do you think African governments are ready to support these young people?
So that's for me, right?
Yeah, that's for you, sir.
Great. Sorry, I think I had a little bit of network issue. I'm sorry. So basically, yeah, Africa is a blooming, or how do I put it? It's a platform, a new platform that is coming up in terms of development. Don't forget that we have suffered from a very or we have come from a very far place in terms of, the things that we've been through, slavery, all of that, people feeding on us and people depriving us of the things that, were supposed to make us grow. In fact, speaking of agriculture, what African youths are doing in the area of agriculture is commendable. Amazing, because we have entered that sector and we have made notable impacts, as you have mentioned. Now, the question of the support from the government, the grants and all the stuff that are needed to push and expand and all of that, are they coming? Are we having access to it and all of that? Yeah, some people are giving this access, some people are having it. For example, people like Tony El-Meslay is doing a great job. Those are entrepreneurs that are coming into, to help the youth. Yes, but the government are not doing enough as they are supposed to do in order to grow agriculture in Africa. I must say that, because if you want to look at it, agriculture is the next thing in Africa. Agriculture is the next move in Africa. The youths are trying their best. We're putting in all that we have. But the question is, the government are not doing what they're supposed to do. They are not helping much. They talk about, there's something we call audio money in Africa. So I would want to call audio grants. There are audio grants that are flying everywhere. And the truth is that nepotism has taken over the system. That what is supposed to go to the people, what is supposed to go to the ordinary citizens that are actually doing the job, is not going to them. So in this area, and then thanks, God so bless, some entrepreneurs are coming into the system, like I had mentioned, Tony El-Meslay, to push this, to help the youths to grow. I know of some, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sheilah, there are some ideas. Yeah, there are some ideas that, that is coming from that aspect. And you see that if these people didn't come in to give the support they are giving, the strides that is being made by the team wouldn't be possible. So yes, the government is not helping, but other people are coming in to help. Other people are coming in to make the mark. And this is what is important. The question should be, youths, are we going to keep waiting for the government? Oh, the government, or we're going to keep doing what we're doing and waiting or getting the little that we're getting from these entrepreneurs to increase, to develop, and to expand what we're doing. In fact, in South Africa, there are issues about lands getting from the whites and all of that, especially because it's agriculture. And the South Africans are saying it's not supposed to be the whites owning the farms and all the stuff. It's supposed to be Africans. And Malema is basically, I won't call him an old man, he's a youth. Let me put it like that. He's a youth, and he's really fighting that cause to help and get those farms. So what I will bring home here is the youth are doing what they are doing. The youth shouldn't give up. The government, probably they will respond. The next dispensations of governments are coming in Africa. For example, Nigeria, we're having election next month. We might have governments that will patronize, will give more, maybe a percentage or a higher percentage of allocation to agriculture. And it will probably help us or help the youth that are in the, in agriculture more. So we shouldn't give up at this point. We should keep pushing. We should keep doing and welcome the little that the entrepreneurs are bringing in to develop this sector. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Brown. I want to ask a question from Ahmed. The issue that we have with African leaders is that they live all their life borrowing and getting grants in sympathy for developing African or creating African development. What do you think African leaders should focus on? Trade or aid? They get aid from the World Bank every time. You see them borrowing money from the Chinese government, and that's why you see what's going on in most of this country. That the Chinese have taken over a lot of their authorities. Do you think we should focus more on the grants and the aid, or focus more on creating more impact in terms of what will I call it? Trade. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You have to mute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
And this
Stephen.
question goes to every one of us in terms of, do you think how do we balance trade or aid towards African development? So, Mr. Ahmed, you have the floor right now.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. I think we should take this spaces, the aid and the trade, because and all African citizen African continent suffer from colonized period, and we need to build our continent. We need to build our continent by many methods, not trade only, not aid only, but from training and the capacity building and trade and aid from all stakeholders from Europe and America and the Chinese and all stakeholders to African continent. We need all of them. In Egypt, I think we take this basis beside us, beside those. I think we take many aids and many loan from international bank to build many projects and many infrastructures and many factories, and in the same time we try to increase our trade with the African countries and all the world. We take all bases beside them, okay? And I think if we need to develop our continent, we should depend on the youth, depend on the young people. I think our continent called young continent. Per counter, Europe, it's old continent because the population pyramid in our continent, I think, towards 60% from our population in African continents from youth. Per counter in Europe, I think the old people more than the youth. Okay, we should depend on our youth, our young people, because I think the future of economic depend on the service economic, intelligence economic. I think we can invest on this fields like intelligence, like economic service, and I think we know how the youth can do from industry, the public opinion, industry trending, industry, the social media, and industry, all service economic in modern life. Now we depend on the economic intelligence. We should take this experience and training our youth to the new technology, to how to industry, how to agriculture, how to trade, and the trade between African countries. how to build our infrastructure from roads, from railways, from airlines, from many things. I think
So,
we should take the bait.
all right. Then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sheilah. Thank you so much, I say Sheilah. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed. Sheilah, do you think, what do you think the aid this government, these African leaders are getting is really getting them lazy? What do you think should be our focus? Trade, or we should continue borrowing?
I'm always very passionate when it comes to the topic of aid. And there are two types of aid. Before we proceed to what they should do, we have the humanitarian aid, and then we have aid which comes in the form of economic boosters. This is what our African leaders always beg for. It is always a no. In fact, there is a book written by Dambisa Moyo on debt aid and consequences this has on Africa. Aid is just a means of having generational debt, making African leaders lazy, and a direct medium for them to enlarge their bank accounts in the name of taking this money to help the economy push forward. There is no way we can continue to be tied down by this aid because apparently the global north continuously uses this whole philosophy of aid to tie down the global south. The global south uses this to tie, it becomes a generational something which throughout we are forced to have this aid on our neck, and it doesn't work. Look at the countries that continuously go for aid. What do they need aid for? Africa does not need aid. We have what it takes. We have the resources. We have the manpower. What we lack is the political will of these leaders to put all these resources into the right medium to forge this continent forward. Aid is not leading us anywhere. It hasn't taken us anywhere, and it won't take us anywhere. It's high time we call a stop to this aid and focus on trade. We do not even trade among ourselves. The few African countries with the resources would rather trade with the Western power than trade with the fellow African countries. We have that insecurity, we have lack of trust, we have problems of revenue loss. There is no empathy even within Africa for us to do intra-trade, talk less of us teaming at home to do trade with the outside world and moving from primary to tertiary products where we can also produce things where people also consume as final consumers. But we let the raw materials leave us as primary resources and come back to us almost 100 times the price at which we exported. And this is where Africa is today. And tomorrow we are back to them begging for aid. With the same resources which they took from us, they refined it and sold it back to us at a very high rate, and then we go back to them to beg for aid. So aid is just a way of tying the dog around the neck continuously, such that dog always comes back to plead for food. So it is never aid, but always trade. It is what it can stand for.
All right, thank you so much for that. I see Dr. Brown is gingering to talk. So what do you think? Your Nigerian government have they borrowed money for toothpick, they borrowed money for phone, they borrowed money for their shoe, they borrowed money for their girlfriend. So what do you think is a part of African development?
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you. I've been laughing all through this because it's rather unfortunate that what is meant to be good is turned for bad. Where our government, I don't know, African governments have always found a way, through the back door, to excavate from the back, and where you could still see the face and everything is still okay in the face, but if you open, the inside is empty because it's been looted from the back. Now, the idea, what I'm trying to say is, aid or trade. The truth is, everyone borrows. It will shock you that America today is the highest debtor in the world. Like America today is the highest debtor in the world. As rich as America is, they are still indebted to China. I don't know if that sounds a bit surprising to anyone, but that's the truth. If you listen a bit to the ground, there are some sayings you will hear in America, and they'll be like, "Oh, because China bought it all. China did this, China did that." If I think I won't be mistaken to say that maybe 50 or 60% of what is owned in America is what is in America is owned by Chinese. Why am I saying that? I mean, I stand corrected. I'm not quoting directly, but I'm just paraphrasing what I know. Now, the idea is aid supposed to be, like Sheilah has said, I mean, there's humanitarian aid and there's this other part of aid. But is it supposed to be something that we're to suffer from? Our children will suffer from, our grandchildren will suffer from. Why does it carry this notion? Why does it carry this spirit that our children's children are going to come suffer and all this kind of stuff? It is because the aid that we're supposed to use properly has been misused. It's been misused by Africans, by African leaders. So if I want to go, I would want to stay in between. If African leaders were to be the global north, I will stay in between, because aid helps. There's no country in the world that is not borrowing. That's the truth. But what's the difference? The difference is when they borrow, they know what to use it for, and they use it judiciously. But when Africans borrow, Africans misuse it. We deplete it. We scatter it. We destroy it. We don't even use it for the purpose that we have borrowed for. So we keep going to borrow for nothing. That's the truth. Trade. Yes, but I mean, we need, when you're talking about trade, you need to develop the area of trade. And in fact, obviously you need money to develop this area. Yes, Africans trade more outside rather than inside. If that shocks you, Africa has a good trade relations with China, with the US, with Europe, than they have good trade relations with Africans, like African countries. It is very hard for an African to transfer money from Nigeria to South Africa or to Kenya or to Tanzania than it is for an African to transfer money from Nigeria to the US or Europe. Why is all this happening? Why would South Africans or Nigerians be selling oil or selling cocoa or selling what do you call it, fruit, or what, those commodities more to the outside world, to the global north, than Africans? Why is it so hard for Africans to purchase this, that when we are coming to purchase it, we purchase it on a high level, like high price? Why? So this trade needs to be developed. Yes, Africans should focus on trade. We need to focus more on trade, but we also need the aid. We also need the aid to develop as a country, as a continent. I mean, I wanted to use the word country for Africa more than a continent, because the divided lines have killed the brotherhood. It has killed the momentum. It has killed the spirit that we're supposed to be operating from as countrymen than continental men. So if we want to look at it, look at it, we would see that, yes, the aids are going to come. We can borrow from China, but yes, we borrow unnecessarily. Like you said, Stephen, we borrow for our girlfriends. We borrow to buy toothpick. We borrow to buy toilet tissue. We borrow to buy this, when these things can be produced in Africa. But we borrow for nothing, basically. We borrow for nothing. Do you understand? So the truth is that we need to know what we are borrowing for. We need to be accountable. That's the word. We need to be accountable. We have to get to a level that our leaders are being held accountable for every kobo or every shilling or every cent they spend. If I will ask, do you know where the last, what was it, $20 billion that was borrowed in Nigeria, where they spent it? How many roads were developed? What it was being used for? What did they say they were going to use it for? What did they use it for? So borrowing is not bad. You can never pay back if you do not use the aid judiciously. It is from the proceeds that you have gotten that you'll be able to use, you'll be able to pay back. If you invest aid, you'll be able to pay back without issues, and you won't have to put it for your children's children to come and pay. The truth is, in America, let me shock you again. When it was divided, it was seen, I'm not sure of the number specifically, but I think every American is owing China about, I think more than $2,000, no, more than $16,000 or more than, I mean, it was an exorbitant amount that you can't pay. You can't pay. So the truth is, everyone is borrowing. Even the superpower is borrowing. So we cannot do without aid. You understand? You have to see. The truth is, aid. If you don't take aid, you're doing yourself. That's the truth. If you do not take aid, you're doing yourself, because obviously it's going. Other people are taking it. Some of this money are paid otherwise, not basically with money. So the truth is, let's take it and be judicious about the spending.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. I'm going to read some comments that rolled in now from different people. Meaning, Denike Peter says that African youth needs to take action. We have been waiting for the government like forever. We've been waiting for the government like forever.
Of course.
Nike also said that we no longer even trust ourselves because of the way our leaders are, and this makes growth and development even harder to achieve. So I have Ambassador Dr. Nnamno Praise from Dubai, says that I believe we have more trade. We wouldn't need aid at all. And then I also have Nike said, yes, our leader must be accountable enough of the wastage. Ambassador Nnamno also said something, said what we need more is trade. Trade is the language of African development. We should begin to look at the ways at supporting and impacting ourselves so that aid can truly complement the effort. I'm going to throw the question.
Thank you.
Aid can complement the effort. I'm going to ask a question to Sheilah. I know Sheilah is from the school of thoughts. She has a lot of political school of thoughts, and I want to ask you a question. You see what happened in different African countries. You see our so-called leaders. I know it's a repeated cycle of recycled leadership. People that were there during the Lugard age, who were there during the foundation of government, they don't want to leave power. They still want to recycle. See Mugabe, till he was using walking stick in the government house, he was still want to be the president. So, and you see what's going on in Nigeria now. The man, the so-called Kingsman, still want to come and become our president. And now we see challenges last week, and I'm still going to have another guest next week. We've seen the force at which young people are saying, no. We want to take government. We need to take nation building or national development growth in our hands and take it very serious. I interviewed a young lady who is vying for the post of a president. I heard another 28 years old lady is also vying for the presidency of Nigeria. And you see different young leaders are emerging to say, yes, we don't want this old jargon, so these old wagon leaders, who who eat breakfast in London and take their lunch in Spain, or probably come to Belgium to come and also have their dinner, and they squander money, the national treasury on unnecessary things. We've seen the emergence of different young leaders coming out and saying, now we need governance in our hands. How serious do you think this is going to also impact the GDP or of African development? Young people taking the lead. Like for you, I see you as a minister of foreign affairs, or I see you as a minister of minister of finance in your country, because I know that's your aim. Well, I'm just thinking. So, do you think, because one day I wouldn't be so surprised to see you on CNN becoming a minister of trade, or minister of finance, or so? Do you think young people have a stake in governance?
Young people definitely have a stake in governance. They are the future, just as they are the present. We live in a continent or society where the leaders have created this generational gap. And what has been going on in most African countries around the government systems is some form of connectocracy. Meritocracy has failed us in every domain.
Mhm.
It is who you know. And so it's about paying the favor back to the people who put you in power. And that is why one minister moves from health,
Mm.
goes to finance, goes to small and medium-sized enterprises, comes back to foreign affairs, goes to defense, and you start wondering if you have all the degrees and qualifications to handle this position. Why? Because they are being compensated for the favors they rendered to whoever is in power in these various countries. That is that is the situation that cuts across several parts of Africa. And if they continue needing this favor, it means this particular group of people will do everything possible in their power to have this president unfit. Because as long as the presidents are there, their positions are also guaranteed. That is the politics of connectocracy which cuts across Africa. The young people, there is what we call the palm wine in Cameroon. When you put palm wine in a bottle and you cork it tight, it could stay there for about 30 minutes, and there is nothing wrong with that. But after about an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, it explodes. It has reached the apex. The gas can no longer be contained in the bottle. That is where African youth are today. They are fed up. They are tired. They are exhausted. They are frustrated with government across Africa, failed governance systems, failed machinery. The machineries are no longer turning. The youth feel useless even when you have what it takes and you know you have what it takes. You grow up, you hear one and the same person as president all your life. You hear one and the same president as minister or national assembly. These are things to make you think you do not have what it takes to be in this position. We are in a paradigmic shift in Africa, and it's the wind that is blowing across these countries. The youth are ready to stand and say no, to take the mantle, and to take the leadership. And there is no doubt that when there is change, the GDP will change. Even though I'm not a fan of GDP to measure standards of living and other things, but that's discussion for another day. But if we are looking at the figures that will rise, then I would say that there is no better time for such figures to rise than now. And that will mean the youth rallying, because one sad thing about African countries is that the youth themselves are their own problem. We hardly rally behind such young people who have decided to take the bravery and combat with these people at the top. We would rather keep eating from the crumbs of these leaders with the little or tokenistic things they give us as compensation. We wait for 7 years, 5 years for elections, and we are given what? Few dollars just to compensate and buy our vote. And we sell our future on the altar of nothing. This is what happens across Africa. So these youths have what it takes to change the face of Africa, to change this so-called GDP, and to take away this shame which we constantly have been suffering for decades in the name of Africa is the poorest continent, which is a lie. And this lie has been told from generations to generation. Africa is not poor. We have what it takes to take this nation to another level. But I plead that the youth of today can rally their support. I'm very happy that these youth across other countries are taking the mantle and deciding to go into these positions of power. If other youth can rally behind them, because the youth are they are the population of every nation. They are the most populated. If all youth can rally behind these people, it also means they are already having above 50% of the vote. Let's leave the rigging machinery which are always put in place. But let the youth stand behind these other youth and let's work for a change. Because when change comes, then there will be democracy. And if there is democracy, of course, there will be good governance and the system to be put in place that can help Africa to move to greater heights and to the Africa we want. The youth have a stake in governance, and it is now that we have to give them that opportunity to prove themselves worthy of this. Thank you.
All right, we have a caller. Hello. 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 Just hold on. Hello. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead with your question.
Okay. First of all, let me thank you for your program. I'm calling in from Nigeria. My name is Daniel Wodi.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
Okay, my question is, we're talking about leadership, and we know that we have young people coming on board to actually vie for the role of presidency in Nigeria. But my question still remains, don't you think it's better for them to learn from the grassroots up to the stage where they will have more experience, because Nigeria is a complex country? What's your view on that?
Who are you directing the question to?
Any of them can answer.
Okay. Okay. Stephen, is it okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Wode. I'm so glad to hear that question. Now, yeah, we learn from the grassroots. We should learn from the grassroots. For how long are we going to learn from the grassroots? I mean, I'm sorry for answering a question with a question, but the truth is, most of these youths have the experience we need. The world today has changed from, where we crawl or where we walked. We have gotten to where we fly, and even gotten to where we disappear and appear. It's a digital age. We learn, the learning is in the tip of our fingers. Some of these youths have attended Harvard, different business school, management schools, and all those stuff. What I'm trying to say is, it's always been my idea. Whoever you learn from, you can take from that person the ideologies of that person, and then it's very sure that you might kind of display the same traits of that person. If I am to be very frank on this show, our leaders in Nigeria specifically, some of them are not people to learn from. Some of them are not people to learn from. Because if you learn from some of these people, you would end up being like them. For example, let's go into it a bit. The people that are being, traded or taught or being pushed to come into, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, to come into, I think I just lost power there. So I'll just be talking from behind.
That's African, that's Nigerian government.
Now you see where we are. You see where we are. So the truth is that if we are looking for a different type of government, if we're looking for a different type of experience, if we're looking for a different type of governance, we shouldn't be talking about these people that are here. Yes, Nigeria is a complex country. Who is making it a complex country? We are making it look like a complex country. For example, you want to take the NSAS. What is going on? The NSAS into the picture. Okay, the youth go out to protest. Somebody sends the military that is supposed to protect the people into the people to shoot the people, and then everyone is denying from every quarter who sends the military. Do the military act on their own now? Do they open the barracks for military to go out into where the civilians are performing their civic duty? Didn't somebody call these people? So when you talk about, see, by next election time, if we are going to say, okay, let's let youth. I'm not even advocating for the youths that are in the corridors of power to come into power. No, because then we'll still be having people ruling in proxy. And that's my fear. So when we see, oh, he's a better person, who has he been with? He's been with this person. He's been with it. He's been in the corridors of power and all of that. If I know that you've been in the corridors of power already, I would take you wrong, because I know that when you come in, you're going to be listening to your masters. And this is the problem of Africa, like Sheilah was saying.
Sheilah,
are you getting me?
Sheilah, it seems Sheilah has a contrary opinion. So, Sheilah.
I agree to disagree at that point, because being in the corridors of power also means experience. Sometimes you're there, it takes a thief to catch a thief.
I agree with you.
You have to be in the corridors of power to know how power operates. So being there doesn't necessarily mean it's an X for you, but I think everyone needs a chance. Outside power, we know people. Character is like presidency, cannot be hidden. We know people, and we know those who are allies, and we know those who are really not with those who are in power. I mean, people don't have to leave their jobs because they are looking forward to being in power, positions of power someday. So I think that it's a matter of critically scrutinizing the goals of each individual, be it someone who has been in the corridors of power, which I think is an upper hand of experience, than someone who just left from maybe school and wants to run for presidency. I think,
Sheilah, sorry, let me cut you. Sorry, I want to cut you there. I'm so sorry to cut you there. But you just made mention of something. We bring out our goals, our objectives, and why we're running. Sheilah, we've been doing that for over how many years now in Africa? We are not truthful, number one. Our government or anyone that is from the corridors of power, first of all, learns to lie. To be a good candidate of the corridor of power, you learn to lie.
That's the first instrument.
Yes, you have to learn to lie. If you do not know how to lie, nobody's going to bring you in, because there are so many layers of lies that have been placed. And if you come in and you're a truthful person, hello, you're going to break it down. You're going to scatter it for everybody, and you're going to mess it up for them, so they won't let you in. Okay. The truth is, okay, please. I mean, just a bit. The truth is,
we just have 11 minutes to round up the show, and there's some. Nick Peters is asking question. This question goes to Ahmed from Egypt. You saw the question. So what's your reaction towards Nick's question?
Yeah, thank you about this question. I think Egypt made many progress in the economic, in the security, in the many fields, in interior affairs and foreign affairs. If we saw the progress in the roads, the quality of roads, we made many progress from I think 1991 in the world. Now I think our rank towards 28 in the world. This is from 4 years only. 4 years only, our made many progress in quality of roads, just the quality of roads. Okay. I think we made many progress in economic. Now I think we the second country in African country after Nigeria, from uh, uh, 4 years only. We in the third place after Nigeria and South Africa, and from now we made many progress in the economic, in the building the factory, building many city for the people, new city, new capital. I think after we opening the new capital in the 2026, I think we will depend the intelligence government about all service. We try to transfer all service to the people, to the technology service. We can finish many many things to with the government about the internet. I think we try to build the website for all the government website to finish all service and all documents, and issue all documents from the government over internet. I think and in the same time, Egypt, it's very interesting to cooperate with all African countries about the free trade area and about all African issues. Now we made many partnership between some African countries and all the African Union. Uh, I think now if we finish the vision of 2030 about the program of Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to transfer Egypt to the real developed country, real, not least developed country, no, the real, to build the future. Exactly, this is the name. And in the same time, the government talk with the Egyptian people to decrease the population, because now we over 100 million, I think towards 110 million in Egypt. It's so much. We should focus to decrease the population, to take a good education, to take a good healthy and good roads and a good service from the country. If we focus all these issues, I think we will build our future.
That's a good recommendation. That's a good recommendation by you. So we can round up in few minutes now. So I'm going to give the Sheilah, and all of us are going to do this summary. And I know this. I want to say, Dr. Brown, if you were supposed to sit down on a face-to-face platform with these so-called leaders, and you were given 2 minutes to give your submission, what are your expectations? That is going to be something that you do not even unscripted, conversation, real conversation with them. What are you going to be your highlight pointer that you're going to use to table before these so-called African leaders in terms of how do we promote, governance, economic, education? What are going to be your highlights within 2 minutes? We're going to do 2 minute submission before we round up. 2 minute submission, Sheilah, and well, let me try and let Dr. rest and think now. So, Sheilah, what are your recommendations for these African leaders?
The first thing
frank,
I'll tell,
frank resolution and frank. When I say you are not scared, and that's the truth. I'm not scared. This platform
yes,
is a great platform. Let us just open up our mind. We've seen some the kind of things that they're doing, the kind of their manipulation, African leaders manipulation. So what are your thoughts? What are your few recommendations that you need to give to them? Unscripted.
first I'll tell African leaders that they have failed us, they have failed the Africa, they have failed Mother Africa, they have failed the youth, and they have failed the people. We are tired. We need them to get back to the drawing board and start afresh. We need them to, in fact, they are tired. They should give room to the youth and give us a chance to bring new innovations, to bring our ideas to the table, to build governance systems, to give a platform where people can showcase what they have within and to grow the economy in different aspects which they are better in. I will tell them that it is high time they forget about the West and concentrate within because Africa has what it takes to take Africa to whichever level we can get to. Africa is rich, it is blessed. We are blocking the blessings in the name of lack of political will. Thank you.
Sorry, thank you so much, Sheilah. Sheilah, maybe I'll come and enroll in thoughts. Okay.
You're very much welcome.
Dr. Brown, you have the floor right
Yes.
now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Resolution. 2 minutes.
Frank, so this is it. I would tell the leaders that first, they need to let the people trust them. And helping the people trust them, it means saying the truth, drawing the people closer to themselves, doing what they're supposed to do, doing what they say they would do, whatever they wrote in their manifestos. They need to practicalize those things. And they need to also make sure that the people feel the government. We talk about Americans giving their lives for America. They do that because they trust the government, because they trust America. We need to love our country. And the only way we can love and trust our country and our government is if the government is true to us, is open to us, and is giving us what they are supposed to do. An open book. Let the government become an open book that everyone can read. Thank you.
All right, Hamed, 2 minutes before we round off. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Hamed, we can't hear you. You have to mute your mic.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you. I think if I can give an advice for all African leaders, we need more confidence in our service, more confidence in our service. I think yes we can to build our future. Yes, we can to build our continent. Yes, we can to build our countries. We need more training, more fellowship, more monitoring, more accountability, more good governance, more trade, more partnership with African countries to build our future. I think Europe can build the future because the cooperation between all Europe countries. We need the same. It's not more to all African citizens to participate and build the future. I think we can.
All right, thank you so much. In the spirit of we can, I would like to say thank you so much to all our guests, and I'd like to say that Sheilah, I'm still throwing my application so that you can come and I can come and register in your world Sheilah's Political Institute. Okay. And thank you so much, I guess, for joining us. And I think that thank you, AU Yafim Mopa, for partnering with us too for this show. And I think that you guys please don't forget that you can also induct me as an ambassador of AU Yafim Mopa. And I'll be glad to take your ambassadorial lead. And also, we'll do more of partnership on different topics that we need to do, African trade zone and trade, and we'll also talk about different conversations that we're still going to be putting on. Maybe we can just extend partnership is the word. I'd like to say thank you for all our listeners and all our viewers across the world, from different countries who have joined us today, from Nigeria, from Congo DRC, from Mauritania, from South Africa, from Kenya, from Dubai, from different countries who have joined us on this show. I'd like to say thank you, Tunde. Thank you, Dr. Eno. Thank you, Tunde. And thank you, CK Niger. Thank you, Nick Peters. Thank you, Adeniko Diakolade. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, my Reverend, Reverend Makinde. You're still going to listen, you're still going to see joining us on this show as a guest very soon to talk about different issues we're going to be having. Thank you so much. Great partnership. I always believe, as a round of this show, to say together we aspire, together we achieve, together we make great things happen. For we can, we will, we must, and we believe in one Africa. Thank you so much for everybody joining us on the show. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.